Your Life, an American television tradition. Brought to you by Extra Rich Liquid Prel, the shampoo that drenches your hair in luxury, leaves it shimmering, sparkling, luxuriously clean. And Gentle Joy, the liquid with the mildness you can see on your hands. And now here he is, Mr. This Is Your Life himself, Ralph Edwards.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. Tonight, we want you to hear a voice singing a popular song. Now, listen. Rich voice, deep and full of meaning. Not many of you have ever heard that voice. No reason for most of you to recognize it. No particular reason for you to recognize the name either. Toni Lee Scott, except in certain areas. That's Toni you're looking at now, singing with our This Is Your Life Orchestra, conducted by Von Dexter. As you see Toni there, you don't think of tragedy, do you? Nor of trials that test the spirit. Yet Toni Lee Scott's spirit has been tested and sorely tried, and not found wanting in courage and determination. For you see, when Toni was a lovely girl of 19, she lost her left leg in an accident. I think you'll find her story is an inspiration to all of us. Watch now and listen while I go to surprise her.
Won't you tell him, please, just to put on some speed, follow my lead. I guess I need someone who watch over me.
As both our studio and coast-to-coast television audience will agree, I'm sure, my name's Ralph Edwards.
I know.
And I'm here to tell you that we arranged this recording session with NBC just so I could say to you right now, Toni Lee Scott of San Francisco and Chicago tonight, this is your life. You can sing, Toni, but can you talk yet? What are you doing now professionally, Toni?
I don't know.
That's why I said professionally. I know what you're doing now. You're shaking all over, but you're a vocalist with Bob Scobie at the Embassy Room of the Club Continental in
Chicago.
And they're all watching.
Oh, the Dirty Rats.
A great band and a popular one. Come over here, Von Dexter. Von, this gal is really great, isn't she? Now, Toni, let's go across the hall here at NBC to our This Is Your Life stage, where we'll relive with you your rugged climb up the ladder of show business, okay?
I think so.
All right. Here we go, then. Meanwhile, Bob Warren has a word for you.
And the word is of the discovery of luxury and beauty. Very personal beauty that begins in a romantic cold.
How does it feel to drench yourself in luxury? How does it feel to drench your hair in luxury? You'll know when you discover the luxury of Liquid Prel, the extra rich shampoo. Liquid Prel makes the most luxurious lather your hair has ever known. Other shampoos are thin, watery, but Liquid Prel is extra rich. Every drop bursts into thousands of extra rich beauty drops that actually nourish the beauty of your hair. Liquid Prel, the color of liquid emerald, leaves your hair soft, shimmering, luxuriously clean. Use extra rich Liquid Prel and drench your hair in luxury.
they are, ladies and gentlemen, coming onto our This Is Your Life stage, our host, Ralph Edwards, and his guest for tonight, Toni Lee Scott.
Scott, Mr. Warren, Bob Warren. Please sit down over here, Tony, and help us turn the clock backwards as it records the minutes, the hours, the days of your life. Well, let's go back first, Tony, to the late afternoon of September 8th, 1952. You'd come to Los Angeles that February with what in mind?
Well, to get a break.
Yeah.
But every young girl comes out is for.
To better your singing career. But things didn't really work out too well, so you had to take another kind of job, didn't you, Tony?
Yes, the waitress
Whereabouts?
at Norm's restaurant, right around the corner from NBC.
You two were a car hop at the Clock Drive-In restaurant, too, at the corner of Sepulveda and Venice Boulevard. Clock number 15.
Gee, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. On this particular afternoon, you come to work a half hour early. And a friend of yours asks you if you want to go for a motorcycle ride. You jump on behind the driver and take off. And after going less than a block, you pull up to a stop behind a car that had rammed into the rear of another car ahead of it. And what happened then, Tony?
Well, I turned around and I saw this other car coming towards us. And I screamed at Bobby, "This is it." And that was it.
Swerving, the car strikes the motorcycle and throws you 70 feet forward. Before that car can come to a stop, it runs over you as you lie on the pavement. Your left leg is severely crushed and bleeding profusely.
I didn't see the accident, but I got to the scene not much more than a minute after it happened.
Well, the man who administered all-important
Jack Fuller.
first aid to you, Tony, he was then a motorcycle officer with the Los Angeles Police Department, now with the City of Los Angeles Civil Defense. Here is Jack Fuller. What did you find when you arrived on the scene, Jack?
Well, Tony, Ralph, it was the worst leg injury I'd ever seen in
And you only told me it was a scratch.
6.5 years as a motorcycle officer. And Tony was bleeding real bad, so I took my nightstick, took my belt off, and made a tourniquet to help stop the flow of blood.
Of course, he didn't tell you that he almost lost his pants.
He told us that, but we didn't think we'd tell the air about that. But undoubtedly saved your life, Tony.
It did. He said I would have never lived if it hadn't been for Jackie.
Well, Tony was in great shock, and I tried my best to comfort her, and I used the word, "Take it easy, little one, everything will be all right." What I didn't know was that little one was a pet phrase her mother used to use for her all the time. Sure calmed her down, and then the ambulance came and took her to Santa Monica Hospital.
Where, through the many months to come, you and your wife visit Tony at least once a week, Jack.
Well,
You wasn't married then, were you?
No, not then, but right after.
Who was that you brought to the hospital then?
That was my fiancée.
Oh, I see.
Another thing, Ralph, I was injured a couple years later, and Tony then came up and cheered me up at the hospital.
Riding motorcycles. I talked to you about him.
Thank you, Jack Fuller.
Right.
Thank you very much. Lying there in the hospital, Tony, month after month, as the doctors fight to save your leg, you, a pretty girl of 19, have lots of time to wonder about what lies ahead. Lots of time to look back, too. Your school days, your childhood. Where were you born, Tony?
San Francisco.
On January 15th, 1933. Your father was a prize fighter, wasn't he?
Yes.
He fought, Maxie Rosenblum, light heavy champ there, John Henry Lewis. He was quite a fighter.
He sure was. But I hear.
Your father's ring name, Pietro Giorgi, his actual name, Pete George. And your mother? Well, let her speak for herself. For here she is from Redwood City, California, Mrs. Vivian Scott. Here's Mom. Mom? Mrs. Scott, why didn't you sit on the other side?
Brought two.
She brought two. That's a thinking Mom, all right?